All right, guys, so we're here at Eschenspiel 18. I'm here with Peter, who is the designer behind this absolutely amazing looking game. Once you start to look at the artwork, I was drawn in straight away. This is called Sorcerer, and Peter here is going to tell us a little bit more about the game, how it works, some of the mechanics, and also about the sort of depth of lore and story building that you have worked into this as well. So, Peter, take it away.
At first, thank you very much.
No worries.
Yeah, so the Sorcerer is our first game from the White Wizard Games company, which is in bigger box and has other components, like, for instance, like other components like the dice and also the boards, and this is something like a hybrid between the old school CCGs, TCGs, LCGs, all those CGs, and the war games, which I really love all of my life. Those two, those two type of games following me all of my life. Sorry for my English. I'm not a native speaker English. I'm from Slovakia, so please be patient with that. So the premise of the Sorcerer, from the lore perspective, is that you are the descendants of the old gods, and it's situated in the Victorian era, in late 19th century, and it's no Cthulhu, it's no steampunk, it's pure horror experience or dark fantasy experience, situated directly in our history. So when I was writing the whole lore, the whole setting, the setting was first. It's not a secret. First was the setting. I want to write the RPG books. I'm a huge RPG fan also. I'm in tabletop, and I wrote all those stories about those sorcerers in that age that are just struggling for a power with their lineages, because there are several lineages of those sorcerers, which are descendants directly from some culture. Because one of my passion is to study other cultures worldwide. So I love myths from many countries. Right now, for instance, I'm studying Hawaiian stuff. So possibly there will be. I do not want to spoil anything. I just study it. So I love all those things like Anglo-Saxon myths and all those many. You will find many of this here.
And one of those interesting things is that all of those different cultures have very different takes on the idea of magic, mythology, legends,
Everything.
and so all of that can feed into this and provide very, very different experiences for the different sorcerers. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was fascinating with all those stories that are really cool. I mean, when I was just reading all Slavic books, I'm from Slovakia, so we have a huge Slavic mythology. Very rich. Not speaking about the English mythology and so on. So when I was just reading those tales, like King Arthur's tale or anything mythological from real folklore, I was fascinating. I was telling to myself that I will not create a new fantasy world. I will just do a fantasy in our world, from our myths, because it's from my perspective, it's the most beautiful fantasy I ever met or experienced are those myths and legends. So I just putting to make it a little bit shorter. I just put the recipe of all those setting stuff is that I basically put a mythological folklore stuff from cultures and looking for some gaps in our history. So some details that happened, like I don't know, Children Crusade. We do not much about it. So there are huge gaps. So that only one of those elements, and I just try to situate the mythology in it, and you can find many Easter eggs on the cards itself.
Like, very cool.
Like an old Mongolian signs on just the small details. I will not tell you every. There are plenty of Easter eggs. I will not, but you can find it there. So There are plenty of them. I love those stuff. So now the gameplay.
Yeah, I really want to work out how this plays because you've got some fantastic looking stuff here, component-wise and everything. But it'd be really nice to see how it all comes together into a game as well.
Yeah. So main idea of the game is conquering fields. So there is nothing like your health points that it needs to be drawn by and so on. So I was trying to do something which contain more space, more atmosphere, and so on. It's not straight to the head. So we are using 3 battlefields represented by those boards. There is also 4th battlefield, but it's only for the multiplayer format. But basically there are 3 of them. I will only cover 1 versus 1, but the same cool experience is also in multiplayer. So it's not like 1 versus 1 game, and then you can play in multiplayer. No, it's not. We focus also for the multiplayer format likewise. So, but I will cover only 1 versus 1. So you are struggling for those battlefields. So it's something like you have some part of your army or your influence in that in that area, and me too. So what I am doing is just lowering your defense. So I am each of those battlefields have 2 sides, me and yours. Is it okay when I will say yours and not opponents? Okay, perfect. So I have mine, you have yours, your side, and both has some defense. And this defense is represented by the damage track. So you have 12 damage capacity on your defense. So when I will hit this capacity with evaluating the damage from the dice, it will be flipped over into this damage side, so the city is destroyed, because sorcerers are not care about the people. It's not like we are not enemies to them. They do not even consider us an enemies. We are just... Did you consider Ant when you just stomp him as an enemy? No, you know what I mean? So
we're just in the way for their fighting.
That's exactly what I want to tell. So you just marked that this battlefield was conquered by you, and when you conquer 2 of those battlefields, you immediately win the game. In that moment that you flip it over, we are done. You just get the most influence and just push me out from the area, and you will be the one that conquered the battlefield. In a core box, you have old London, because in Victorian era, who controls London controls the whole world. So we have here London Southwark, we have Whitechapel, Old London. I visit those areas, by the way, when we were in the UK Games Expo. Just those areas.
Just to get a bit of inspiration for the areas.
Exactly. No, the areas was done, but I wanted just be there.
Yeah, we'll just show these off just so you can see a little bit of the underside as well, showing those off there. The artwork's fantastic on these, which is really great to see.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So yes, carry on.
Yeah. So at the very start of the game, you will build your own sorcerer. So how can you do it is you have 3 rows of sets. This is a row for the character sets. This is a row for the lineage sets. And the last row is from the domain sets. So basically, at first you will pick up your character, like we have a Tegu, the old Mongolian warrior, which helped the Genghis Khan to building his own, to building the Golden Horde. And one night at his tent, there was an ash demon possessed him and make him a sadistic beast, which is he's just enjoying torturing people. You can find the meat cleaver there, some sadistic ceremony stuff.
He's gone very chaotic, effectively. Yeah.
He's not the guy who wants mad during the night.
Yeah, don't meet him in a dark alley.
Yeah, exactly. Then there is a character called Zevrain. Zevrain is a guy that died during the civil wars in America, and after he died, he just woke up in the cave, and the cave has many glyphs on the walls, and then he just lose his mind and woke up half eaten. So his body is half eaten because he find out that he becomes a god for some alien tribe there in that dimension that he woke up, and what they are doing exactly is they're eating their gods. That's the ceremony, and he woke up in the middle of it. So you can find those aliens in that.
Yeah, I'm just going to show some of this artwork for some of these creatures here. These are
Yeah.
insanely looking.
Yeah,
wow.
We put a lot of effort. I put as an art director, me and Darwin Kessler, and also with Rob, we did a huge amount of effort just to put all those arts from several artists to become very consistent. So, and each of the artworks are, from my perspective, is amazing. I mean,
I'm going to show you this one off. It's a little bit of a closer look at the character. As
the
well,
guys from our team did a huge job for this. We developed it 5 years. Years before I came with the idea, tweak it and so on, but basically at this game will turn to be like 5 years old right now. So then there is a Zelda. She has some sirens there. She's connected to the sea. Some of the she can bring you some deep madness, some curses on you, and basically she can raise this demigod creature from very ancient times. This is the bigger creature in the game. And the last one is Ariaspis. He's a Persian assassin, which his body was stirred up by the shadow demons, and then he can collect your soul, and from his body he can just throw out these shadows.
Just show this off there. This is the character that caught my attention immediately when I first saw him. I loved the design of this guy. I thought
Thank you. Basically, this is my artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the artwork for him.
It's very lovely, man.
One of the artworks. Yeah, I'm also the artist in the game. So yeah, you will pick up one of the characters. So
yes.
Basically, I will pick up or choose one. It will be better. So do you want to hear?
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We will build him a sword, so it will be better.
This sounds great.
Yeah. You will see why I'm doing this way. And now you will pick up your own lineage. Mm-hmm. So there are 4 in the core set. So there is a Hellfire Cult. Hellfire Cult was. There are plenty of stories, so I really try to be short, but there's too much to say about it. I'm so exciting still. But basically, Hellfire Cult was just founded by the Romulus and Remus, the founders of the Rome, and this is a cult that practices demonological orgies and all those nasty stuff, like the Hellfire Club later in London. So you will have plenty of demons there, like these bigger ones, and
we'll show some of these off on camera as well. So we just saving that. So that's the little logo that we got for the club there too.
I especially love this Hungarian style looking demon guy. I mean, that's my really favorite glorious mustache demon.
It's like someone you would have seen in one of the old classic novels or something. Like
yeah, exactly. I love those. So what's the difference between the character set, domain sets, and the lineage set is that a lineage set is twice as wide as those two sets, so it has 20 cards, while the character set and the domain set has 10 cards each, because this is something like an engine for your deck. For instance, the Demonologist is set the opposing minions into fire, so it will give you the Hellfire tokens, and at the end of the round you just burn. Nobody doing this, only the Demonologists. They will bring elements which is only to this set. Nobody will ever do the same thing do the same mechanics.
So each of these has a very unique feel to them
Exactly,
that makes
like
them
for
incredibly
instance-
different to play each time you sit down.
Exactly.
So-
Like for instance, the Bloodlord is the keepers of progeny. Once 4 guys kill the god, and they become cursed, and they become the oldest vampires. And the Demonologist has a blood pool, and you will collect blood. And with this blood, you can just do different things. It's up to you. You can just buy your special actions by the blood, and you have plenty of cards which will give you this blood, like this Covenant Concubine. You know this. That's really favored by the backers and by the fans. So.
One thing I very much noticed when we were looking through these here is that, as well as them all having unique mechanical benefits to them and the way that they play, you've also got a very unique art style for every single one of them as well, which is really interesting to see.
Yes,
so
of
there's
course.
there's a real sort of like focus on these being very interesting to play gameplay-wise, but also looking interesting at the same time.
Yeah, for me as an artist and a graphic designer, it's really important that also it will be visually appealing. That's very important. But I'm speaking by myself. But yeah, at the end of the day, it shows up on the game itself, of course. So. While you are just speaking about the diversity of the style, you can just check those necromancer stuff. It's the follower of Ysir, is the Osiris, the Egyptian god, and those are basically, if you love zombies and things from the undead. I give a huge space for the artists that are painting. He's painting the dead. And he did a tremendous job for this set.
Amazing. I'm going to take that one there.
Yeah, sure.
So good.
Basically, I also have the Cat Warriors. This is really Egyptian-based set. Yeah, those zombies and so on. And this is really also cool. You have also Book of the Dead, with actually the writing. It's directly from the Book of the Dead.
No way.
Yeah, I paint this picture.
I'm going to show this off.
Sure. I painted this picture, so I know. So I was just obsessed with the correct things.
You can tell that you were very, very passionate about everything that you put into this game.
This is important. I am also a player, so it's you immediately know what is the passion project. And I love those projects. I actually buy those and so on. Last time I saw, I think the Solomon Kane stuff. To be honest, I didn't see the gameplay, but I back it all in. I saw this passion and how beautiful it was. But okay, let's continue with this. But this was first project that comes into my mind that it's directly with fashion. And the last thing is Oberon's Kingdom. This is you become an animist, so it's King Oberon from the Shakespeare play, and he became the lord of the king of insects, because he was exiled from his kingdom. He was king of Ares, and he was exiled by his queen Titania, and he became the king of the insects. So if you are afraid of spiders, you definitely need to pick up this set.
Justin's just waving off camera saying that he's very afraid of spiders, so he won't be doing that, I don't think.
Yeah, so you will enjoy this. I mean, when you love to be, self-destructive, be sure to take this. So that's also something for you. So, okay. So basically, what this set is doing is that they can turn your mind or your memories and turn them into spiders. Therefore, this is animist. So he can just shape them into real form, and of course he's creating spiders and arthropods. So in game, how it's translated into the mechanics, because first I always wrote a setting, a story, and then I try to figure out how I can portray it mechanically. This is important for me. And you will just pick up cards from your opponent's hand or graveyard or deck, and you just will create the spider tokens, which will give you benefits for your attack. So pick up one.
Ooh, the one that immediately spoke to me was the Demonologist, so I think I'm going to go with that one. I think this works out quite well for me. I think so.
You are a pretty dark person, man.
Oh yeah. I'm cuddly on the outside, dark on the inside.
Okay, so the last thing is the domain set. So it's the real places on the world, so you can find it. We have Jerusalem, we have Paris, we have Cyclades in Greece, and the Limerick in Ireland. Last year, I have two guys from directly from there, and I thought that this is from Ireland, and what? You have a place in Ireland? Yes, I mean there is a part of Ireland that calls Limerick. No way, I will not quote them. I will not really quote them, you know. But that was super cool. So in Limerick, domain set is the place where you are known for. Where is something like your training.
It's like your home base, the place that you can call a sanctuary,
yeah, exactly.
almost. So, yeah.
Exactly. So in a haunted forest in Limerick, you can find there is a perfect myth in this. Like there is something like a ghost woman, something like I don't know.
Like a banshee? Is that the thing?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So therefore, I go for this haunted forest. And you can have those ghosts and whites, yeah.
I already like this. I already like this place.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to choose that one. I mean, I want to learn about the others, but I'm going to choose that one. There we go.
So I will be just straight with those. In Cyclades in Greece, you will have harpies. Look at those girls. Are you not changing your mind? Okay. By the way, harpies, nymphs, and something from the Greek
mythology.
Greek flavor. Yes. No, not from Greek mythology, but
their folklore.
Yes,
their folklore.
Yeah. Also, like harpies and so on. So there is an Auca sanctuary in Paris. There was a part of the Paris that countless miserables. I don't know, but there was something like a part of the city when the court of the miracles. So you basically call it miracles because you see a guy without his leg, and you give him money, and on the other day he just walked. You know, they are just pretending that they are okay. So, exactly in that place, there are people which are really infected. I mean, no miracles there, because they are just radiated with the energy that we use as a sorcerers. The people are just transferred into abominations. This is a cool guy. I love him. It's Horatio and.
Very cool.
So you can find the infected people in Paris and use them to just blown away and give you energy.
And then the last one we have here is from Jerusalem.
From Forgotten Temple, and this is old Crusaders, which their faces were disfigured. And you can control them. They find a sanctuary in old temple and they become cursed. Well, and we are done with this part, so the gameplay will be not as complex as this because this.
But it's important to get a grounding on the fact that there are so many different combinations that you can go for as characters.
Therefore, I try to describe you those things because all those stuff you can find at the box, in the rulebook and so on. So if you love the storytelling things, you will enjoy this probably. So what we done here is you create your own sorcerer. So we will put those cards aside like you choose them. And now if you can see, you have your name.
I'm just going to turn this around so that they can see it on the...
If you read it from here to there, you have your name.
So we've got Arisapes, the Demonologist of the Haunted Forest. I already sound so much cooler than I am in real life.
So that's how you create your own sorcerer.
That is so cool. I love that.
So you will shuffle your deck, and now the gameplay. You will get your avatar. Of course, I will pick up mindset. So Uh, you will situate your avatar somewhere. We will decide who will go first. Uh, you will not find it in the rulebook, but if I may ask the players, ladies are always go first, always. We are in the Victorian ages, please be gentle.
You have to be gentlemen, yes, of course. Even if you are then going to tear people apart with magic, you've got to be a gentleman.
Exactly. It's Victorian age. Okay, so you will receive, as a first player, you will receive the fate counter. So the fate is on your side during that turn. So with this fate counter, you will have some benefits. We will come to this later. So we will put your fate counter on your board. Yeah, we have a double-sided board. So we have a board for the left-handed people and also for the right-handed people. So it's double-sided. It's a detail, but actually with the Kickstarter, and also we will sell it later, or during when we hit the retail. Yeah, we are going also for retail with this product. But we own a huge amount of those sets from the Kickstarter, and also expanding this. So I will tell about the production politics later on. Don't be afraid; it's not a collectible card game. So on this board, this board is designed as when you will come back, when you will play some games with this of the sorcerer, and came back. In a year later or half a year later, you will just put it from, come and play sorcerer. I'm not sure if I know the rules. When you will set up the board, you probably will not use the rules. That was my point, that on these cards, there are nothing like the keywords. So you will not find some, I will not quote those keywords, but you know it's how it works.
Everything you need to play is already written on the cards or accessible on the boards or something, so you don't have to keep referring to things.
Exactly. So you will not just list the rule book for finding what the keyword does. So game is consisting of two parts. I'm not the best teacher of the game. I am only the designer, so...
It's okay, we'll just get a little overview of how it all works.
I will try. Yeah. Yes, I will try to. So the game is consisting of two acts. The first act is an action phase, which actually is similar to the CCG, TCG playstyle. So you will enjoy your combos, and you will combine the cards, play the cards, receive energy, and so on. And then when we will be done with the action phase, the game switches to something like a war game experience, not with the miniatures, with the cards. So you will roll the dice. The positioning of those cards will be really crucial, and also your avatar. So all those things that I really love in the war games I hear. So don't get me wrong, it's not a war game, but several elements you can feel from this game.
It's got some nice influences in there from.
Yeah, yes, that will be visible. You will see. In the action phase, what is important in the sorcerer is nothing is for free. So, but you can do anything. So, when you start a game, you will start a game with the 6 cards on your hand, with the 6 energy, and with the 6 actions. So it's basically easy to remember number. So now what you can do during your action phase. So for instance, we will draw 6 cards on our hand together.
We'll show these off on camera just so people can see some of the 6 cards.
We shuffled them perfectly. Perfect. Oh, okay, that's okay. So we have those 6 cards on our hand, and there are 3 types of cards. We drew all of those 3, that's perfect. So there are minion cards. You can immediately recognize them by the casting cost. That's the same for all 3 types of cards. So you have some casting cost, then you have the attack power, and then you have essence. Basically it's defense, HP, you name it.
Their stamina, etc.
Yeah, but in terminology, it's essence, because they are not humans mostly. So the point is, what you can do during your turn, you can channel energy for one. You have 6 actions, And my point when I'm designing the game is that the player should be constantly in action. There is no downtime in this game. So I'm not sure if this is the term, but you get the point. So you are not waiting too much for a turn. So when I do one actions, you are doing one action then, and so forth. So and it's sequential play, I think. So what can you do for one action is to channel energy. So you just add 2 energy into your pool. Then you can meditate, draw 2 cards into your hand. Then you can cast a spell, so you can play any card of your hand. So you can play a minion or a sorcery. Sorcery has no values. It has a small book here, and when you cast it, you resolve the effect, you know it, and you just put it into your graveyard. And the last thing is the attachments. So weapons, elixirs, and so on. It is designed in that way that when you put it like this, you will immediately see the numbers, the boosts, and also the name of the cards of the attachments. There are no any other cards like those. So casting a spell, you will pay energy for its cost, and you play it and resolve it. In a case of a minions, now this is a strategical part. In a case of a minions, you will play it from your hand. So, for instance, I will pay 1 energy and 1 action, and I will pay 3 energy to play this Lucifer's Jester to one of those battlefields. So, for instance, here, I will put it in here, and when it has a cross swords, these double swords, it means that his effect is only happening at that battlefield. So it's important when you situate your guys, because mostly all of them are just triggering their effects even when played. It hit the ground, and when it hit it, it will evaluate on that battlefield only. So this is important when you will put them. It's a big part of the strategy. So that's the playing cards. When sorcery cards, of course, are played and it's global.
Discarded.
Exactly. And the attachments are attached to the minions. That's basically the playing cards. Then you have an activator power. Some of the cards has a power. It means that action, like this card, the skill card each skill card has action. So for action you will use this effect. And the last thing is reinforce, which is a very important thing in this game. For reinforcement, you can move one of your minions to adjacent spot, or you can do the swap like in chess.
So if you've made a mistake about deploying, for example, the Lucifer Jester to here in Whitechapel when he really should be over here helping you there, you can move him around.
The best thing is convince your opponent that you make a mistake. Because when you are
a bit of bluffing,
you are second player, you have last word. So you have this one action, and you can convince the opponent that you are just focusing on this battlefield, but at the end you will check him, he will be depleted, you will move him, and you will conquer the battlefield.
Cunning, very cunning.
You will see your own strategies, but it's not a hint.
I like that. It's good. Yeah, it's good.
But I love to play like this. Okay, so basically that's the action phase. And when we are done with the action phase, the battle will start. So I will simulate the battle, okay? We will have this guy here, we will have this guy here, and we will have this guy here. And then we will have some vampires, like this beautiful lady here, this beautiful lady here, and this horrible man, and this horrible vampire here. Okay, so it's like this. Battle, when you are the second player, you has a priority to attack on the first and the last battlefield. When you are the first player, your priority is to attack only on the middle field. So the sequential gameplay is returning. Oh, during the battle, you can just put your cards from your hand aside. It will be different kind of game. We are just starting the war. So how the battle is going, the second player will start, in that case, that player, me. So I will attack you. I am not attacking somebody or battlefield. I will not attack him. I declare an attack. And during attack, there are cards, the attachment cards. Nearly each attachment has tactic. Tactic means that it's triggering. You are declaring attack, and then you can trigger tactic. You can also give a tactic to someone from your domain card, but only where you have a presence. That's the important thing. So, for instance, you will have a presence here, and I will have a presence the same. We can be together on one. You are not attacking. You are doing nothing. It's your alter ego. You will not. You will not make your hands dirty.
You get the minions to do it for you. Yeah.
Yes. They will definitely. They will. So you can just give him a tactic like this. You may exhaust this skill card to gain an omen token. I will tell you what an omen is. But basically, when you will declare an attack, then you can get this omen, and we will evaluate the attack with the dice. In that case, I am not using anything. She has ongoing action, but it's whenever I play a vampire. It's not influencing the battle right now. So now the part that people enjoy possibly most, based to their reactions, is the not frustrating mechanic of indirect damage. It means that this is the anatomy of the dice. It's like this. That's the 6 sides of a die. Yeah, that's it. You have 7 dice, and you have those 6 sides of it. What does that mean? When you roll a critical hit, only one side, you as an attacker will choose where to distribute this damage. So, for instance, I will hit your guy here, or I will hit directly the battlefield. And when we resolve it, I will give you all those damage, and it's up to you how to distribute them.
Oh, okay.
So this is something like resource management.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's not as frustrating when you just lose the game. You will think, am I doing something wrong? You know what I mean? So this is the indirect damage, and that's the point of the battle. Everybody who hates dice, do not go away from this video, because you have an opportunity to re-roll them. I am not a fan of games when you are not, you can't influence the die rolls. So therefore, I came with the omen tokens. Omen tokens, you can gather omen tokens via cards. Yeah. So for instance, this card has a star, a symbol here. It means the star symbol is on every card at the same location. When it's not here, you will not receive an omen token. And you gather all those omen tokens at your board, and all those resources like an energy, cards on your hands, and omen tokens, damage tokens are transferable from round to round. So when you have an omen token, you can force your opponent to reroll one of his dice, or you can reroll one of your dice. So for instance, I will roll for the lady. Okay. So you definitely do not want this double, so I will re-roll it, and now it's better. So that's the main point of the omen tokens. Now the last thing is that there is a fate token. You can use fate token as a first player once during your round, so you will deplete your fate, and you can force your opponent to re-roll all of his dice, or to re-roll all of your dice, but only all. This is the decision you have to take. So we will evaluate it. You will put a 3 damage anywhere. So you will, for instance, put 2 damage here, and you will put 1 damage on your minion. Then you are going. So you can roll the dice with your left hand, or I love this. So yeah, you can basically use an omen and re-roll it.
I think I'll re-roll this one. Yeah.
Re-roll.
See if we can, I got a crit.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Basically, that's it. We find out that the players who do that
It's a lot more fun to see that.
Yeah, screaming, oh yeah. Basically, when I have no token, I have no response. So I have no response for that. So you can just put direct damage to her. Battle continue from battlefield to battlefield, and that's it.
And then you go back to the start and you still go through the action phase again.
And the last
go through the
thing is from the beginning of the second turn, the first player, of course, he gets the Omen token, and the second player becomes first from the last turn, and he will choose. That's a really important thing. Many people do not see it, but it is. He's choosing if he is taking 4. It means that both me and you will add 4 energy, or he will roll the 8-sided die, and both will have the same. So when you have 7 energy, and I have 2 energy, I will definitely go for the roll, and you missed 3 energies. You know that?
That's a really interesting back and forth.
That's basically it.
Wow. Well, Sorcerer does sound absolutely awesome. I love the amount of depth you've got where you choose your character, the kind of the magical essence they want to draw on, the locations they are. I like the really nice mix between it being this struggle for control of locations as well as this like playing of cards for that instant effect and all that kind of thing as well. Again, as I said, Peter, the artwork looks amazing. I love the depth of background that you've got into this as well. I think you'll agree from watching this video, there is a lot to this game to get stuck into and enjoy. And more importantly as well, the game mechanics, well, they might have seemed on appearance to be quite, like hefty to get into. They're actually really easy and simple to get into. I mean, I could probably sit down and play this game right now, and I get it, which is fantastic. So as you say,
after the first turn you can just play, and it's very intuitive.
Exactly. So there you go, guys. That is a look at Sorcerer. This was a pretty awesome little thing indeed.
And if I can tell one last thing.
Yeah, sure.
About the politics.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's important. That in Core Set you will have all those stuff that you see here, but. We are not only planning, but we already have. You will see the booster packs coming with the game. But what does that mean? Is that you will see the set. It will contain a set.
So you'll know what's inside those card packs.
You will just buy a booster pack, hit the table, and you are good to go. So, and all of those sets, you will never get outdated with just the core set. So it's just for your own taste. If you want to expand the game, buy the set, open it, hit the table, and you are good to go with another one set. And every time we are usually testing the game with the existing stuff. So that's the politics, and it will probably never change.
There you go, guys. That was a look at Sorcerer from White Wizard Games. I think this is looking absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to delve into this a little bit more, try it out for myself as well. I hope you guys have seen this and enjoying it too. As I say, you're going to retail with this, which is pretty awesome, so that's fantastic to hear. Check this out. Follow Peter and find him on social media and all that kind of thing as well with White Wizard Games. And we'll catch you guys very, very soon for a lot more from here at Eschenspiel 18.